So my name is Agniideva Das. This is a spiritual name given to me by my spiritual master, Shrila Prabhupada. I was born in the Caribbean, West Indies, in an island, a country called Trinidad and Tobago. I was born there, and I grew up there till I was 21. Then I came to New York, America. I came to America to be with my mother and my younger brother and younger sister. But within less than 2 years after I was in New York, I met the devotees. I met the Hare Krishna devotees on the streets of Manhattan. And they were singing, chanting and playing instrument. I had never seen them before, but I liked the sound they were making. I liked, just from, it was a music, but it was spiritual music, and I was attracted to that. So they gave me an invitation. They said, come to our temple, and we can talk more. So I went to the temple after a few days, and I was really surprised because on the streets there was only about 8 or 10 of them, boys and girls. When I went to the temple, there was about 75 of them. I said, wow. And then they informed me that this is just one temple, they have temples all around the world. I said, really? And I just never knew anything about it. But they have a Sunday program, Sunday feast, every Sunday. So they invited me to come to that. So I would go every Sunday. Someone would give a talk, there would be chanting, and then there would be dinner. We call it prasadam. Prasadam means it's sanctified food. It's food that's been first offered to Krishna, and then we distribute, then we take. So, I enjoyed, the whole experience was nice, so I kept coming back every Sunday. And then one Sunday, when I arrived at the temple, the devotees told me, oh, today is your lucky day. I said, why? He said, because Prabhupada is coming to the temple. He's at the airport, he just flew in from somewhere else, and he's coming to the temple, and he will be giving the talk. So I said, okay. So I made it a point to get close, as close as I can when he came. Say he's on here, I would sit on the ground, and I was close enough I could hear every word he said, and I was attentive. I wanted to hear what he had to say. And after hearing him give his talk, I realized I have to follow him. Before hearing him, I wasn't thinking that I would even join this movement. I like coming to them, to the temple, I like associating, but now after hearing him, I wanted to be one of his people. I wanted to join.
What kind of person was Prabhupada?
Very compassionate, very friendly, an extremely intelligent person, very pure. It's rare to meet someone with these qualities. And he was the purest person I had ever met. I thought, I'll probably never meet someone like him in my life. He was so pure, but he was at the same time very gentle, friendly and compassionate. He had started this movement single-handedly. Came from India at the age of 70. And he didn't have money, but he bought some books that he had translated and written, And he started the movement in New York, of all places. That's where it began, and his first disciples joined there in New York. And as they became a little more fixed, a little more conversant, he would send them out to go to different countries even to preach. He sent some to England, some to Germany, some, and this way the movement began spreading. But the initial devotees were Americans.
Yeah. So in the world we live right now, it's a very complicated situation, days of wars.
Yes.
Looks like people accepting the bad for good and good for bad.
Yeah.
And how Krishna consciousness can help all these people to find out who are they.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. People in general, all over the world, they are in the bodily concept of life. Means they identify with their body. They think, I am this body. But that is not a fact. That is ignorance. According to Bhagavad Gita, which is Krishna's teachings, Krishna's book, Krishna teaches that we are not these bodies. We are not Indian, we are not American, we are not Bulgarian even, we're not African, we're not white, we're not black, we are spirit souls. And the spirit soul is the active principle in all bodies. The soul animates the body. The soul is the person within the body. Body is like a suit of clothes, and we change clothes, so we change bodies. This is easily realized if you've been around when someone dies. When someone dies, say a family member, the body is lying on the ground, but there's no more, you cannot communicate with them.
So what happening when people die?
What happened?
Yeah.
The soul is, first of all, to understand, the soul is eternal, because the soul is a part of God. God is eternal, say Krishna. Krishna is eternal, and we are parts, small. God is great and we are small. The soul is eternal and God is eternal. But all souls are being maintained by that one God. Now souls inhabit not only human bodies. Anywhere you see the symptoms of life manifested, you should understand there's a soul there. So there's soul in all the different species of life. Birds, beasts, fishes, animals, just as they are in human bodies. The souls are equal, but there's a gradation in the bodies. So when the soul comes to a human body, it means his consciousness is more developed than when he's in an animal body. Now that more developed consciousness, you could say he has full consciousness. There's a purpose. There's a purpose to having that body with full consciousness, and that purpose is to understand who you are, what you are. This is called self-realization. We are the self. If the human form of life is an opportunity, a chance to realize ourselves. And if we can do that, then we can leave the material world completely altogether and go back home, back to Godhead, we say. There's another world besides the material world, there's a spiritual world. That's where God lives. But if we don't develop self-realization, if we don't cultivate this knowledge, then when death comes, we have to take birth again in the material world. And depending on the work that we did, if we've been good, if we work like a human being, then we'll get another human body. But if in the human form we act like an animal, then we'll get an animal body. So there are people, there are human beings who are acting like animals. So we can understand they are going down into the lower species. But then it'll take some time before they can come back to a human form. Many birds. The Vedas tell us there are 8,400,000 different species of life.
Only in our planet, or are you talking about the universe?
The universe. And now there are many universes. There's not only one universe. We are on one planet, Earth, and there are unlimited planets in this universe. And there's one sun and one moon, but there are many planets. Now, there are also many universes, and all those universes together is what we call the material world. People are they're barely aware of their situation. But this is just a small thing. The majority of souls, they are liberated and they're in the spiritual world. We are in the minority in the material world. Just like any country you go to, take America. America has so many universities, so many schools, so many attractive things, but they also have a prison, right? Who is the prison for? The prison is for those citizens who don't respect the laws of the land, don't respect their fellow Americans, So the government anticipating this, they build a prison. They put them there. They are still maintained by the government, but they are restricted. They cannot go out. Similarly, material world is like a big prison. We are restricted. We cannot go anywhere. We want to go to the other planets, but we are restricted. It's possible to go to the other planets. There's a process that is given in the Vedas. You know, yogis, perfect yogis, they can transfer to another planet. So, how did we get this body to begin with? We got this body due to our past activities. Remember, this is not our only life. This is not our first life. It could be our last life in the material world, but if we don't develop our self-realization, then we run the risk of taking birth, and in any body you get, whether it's in America or anywhere, the body has to go through changes. You're going to get diseases, you're susceptible to disease, old age and death. And this can go on perpetually. How many times we've been like on a Ferris wheel, going round and round and round. But not always as a human. We have been through all the species. But now you're a human being, you have more developed consciousness, intelligence. Why? It is to give you the opportunity to understand yourself.
Do you remember your past lives?
No.
Is that possible for people to…
It's rare. Sometimes, but it's rare.
Through psychoregression, it's possible to…
It's possible.
Mm-hmm. Is that good or bad?
It's not necessary to know. But, if you're curious, but the purpose of… what is the purpose of life? If I was, say I was a wealthy man in my last life, and now I'm just a poor man, what good does it do me to know that I was a rich man? I won't be happy. So we forget. We forget our past life. We forget. So remembrance and forgetfulness, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, these two things come from me, he says. Remembrance and forgetfulness. So he makes it, we forget. When we change bodies, we forget.
So how people can get this self-realization?
Yes.
Well, what steps have to be done?
Well, because of the advent of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appeared just 500 years ago in West Bengal, India. He's what you call an avatar. He's an incarnation of Krishna. Him and Krishna are the same, non-different. So he came and he introduced a very simple process to benefit everyone and anyone. And that process is to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, like we were doing tonight. You see all these people? It's so simple, it's so easy. Anyone can do it. It doesn't cost anything. There's no tax. You have a mouth, you have a tongue, you can chant.
So it's about vibration.
Vibration, yes. But vibrating spiritual sound.
Yeah. And that affecting the
That affects,
consciousness of the
yes, that purifies our mind and heart, and it purifies our consciousness. This is important. Originally, we were all Krishna conscious.
But we forgot.
We've totally forgot because of our desire to enjoy this in this material world. We completely forget. And so, just like when rain falls, water is coming, right? That water is pure, but when it comes and falls and hits the ground, it becomes contaminated, that water. But there's a process to take that same water that's contaminated and purify it, and then it becomes, drinkable water. Similarly, our consciousness was originally pure. We were Krishna conscious. But now our consciousness is polluted. Instead of we don't know who we are. Instead of understanding that I'm a servant of God, I'm a servant of Krishna, we are thinking, I am this, I am that, I'm American, I am whatever. But that's all polluted consciousness. Because we are not this body. Remember, we're not this body. So all those labels titles is only in relation to the body. And the body is temporary. It will end, it will die and go back into the elements. But where will we go? If we are self-realized, then we can leave the whole material world and go to the spiritual world. If not, we take birth again. And this can go on perpetually.
Okay, my next question is, if eventually some people, they hit this self-realization and they go to the spiritual world, exactly what you say.
Yeah.
And what happened with them after this?
Once you go to the spiritual world, you never come back to the material world.
And they became a gods or what?
No, they became associate of God. You can, in the spiritual world, we have books that describes what life is like there. Everyone there is eternal, full of knowledge, and full of ananda. Ananda means happiness, bliss. And they'll never come back to the material world. Once going there, you never come back here.
So you mentioned that there's a lot of worlds, planets, universes.
Yeah.
What kind of intelligence life they have in that planets, these universes? Like us, like humans, or?
Yes, human-like forms are there, but in the universe there's higher planets, middle planets, and lower planets. You see? And the heavenly planets, higher planets, they are much more advanced and intelligent than we on earth. We are situated in the middle range, middle planetary system. And there are lower ones below the earth. You see? But anywhere you go, as long as you're in this material world, from the highest planet down to the lowest planet, birth and death takes place. Miseries takes place. Even on the highest planet in the universe.
Okay, I want to ask you, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but lately, maybe the last 10 years, people from all over the world, all over our planet, they see in the sky very interesting unusual lights which is moving, and these lights, they call them UFO
Yeah.
or UAP, and some of the humans, they says that they had a contact with another non-human intelligence which coming from another multi-universes or multi-dimensionals worlds. Did you have something, I mean, some kind of explanation from the, from this point of talk about, from the Krishna consciousness?
From the Krishna consciousness point of view, as I said, there is life on all the planets, everywhere. There is life even on the sun planet. But you have to get a suitable body to live there. Just like there's life in the water. We cannot live in the water, but if you get a suitable body, you can, like the fishes, they can live there. So, all the planets has life, and one gets a suitable body to live there. You cannot just go there on your own strength or with a spaceship or something. No. You have to get approval. It's not that the higher planets, as I said, they have higher intelligence. Just like to come to America, right? Many people want to come to America, but before they can come, they have to be approved. They have to meet with the embassy, with the immigration people, and if they decide you cannot come, you cannot come. You have to be qualified. Similarly, to go to these other heavenly higher planets, we have to be qualified. We cannot just force our way there. Remember, they are much more intelligent than us. We cannot force them with our intelligence. We may think we are very intelligent, but there is much more intelligent beings than us.
So they are spiritual beings, or they just…
All life forms… No, they have material bodies also, but they're more advanced. But all living beings are spiritual. The soul is everywhere.
Even with them?
Yes. We have souls are in the fishes, in the birds, in the beasts, everywhere. And similarly in other planets too. Wherever you see symptoms of life, that means souls are there.
And why are they coming here?
Desire.
They would like to observe our civilizations?
No, our civilization is nothing compared to the higher planets.
Yeah, but they're curious to see what's going on.
They're not even curious, they know. People are curious, just like people in America may be curious to how are the uncivilized man living in the jungles of Africa or something. Not everybody is interested in that. But there's people living there, and that's in that environment. Everywhere has an environment, and the people, souls are in bodies, are living there, everywhere. You see? So we are to live here. Why did we get this body? Because of our past karma. This is an important word. Karma means action and reaction. Because of our activities in the past, we got a body and we have to experience the reactions of our past. Meanwhile, we are acting now, and that is going to shape, we are creating our future. You see? So karma is very intricate, Where does it begin? Where does it end? It only ends when you get out of the material world. Once you get out, then no more karma, no more reincarnation.
So according to Krishna consciousness, there's different periods. You mentioned in the beginning that we're going in the circle.
Yeah.
So if we really live now in Kali Yuga, which means the last era, and how long continue? How many years is the Kali Yuga? And do you think that we are almost the end?
No, we're just in the beginning.
In the beginning?
And it's already so bad.
Yeah.
We have 432,000 more years to go.
So
you see, the yugas, there's 4 yugas.
Yeah.
Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. And just like these 4 seasons, spring, summer, autumn, winter, and then spring, summer, autumn, winter, and then spring, it moves in cyclical, like cycles. So when this Kali Yuga ends, a Satya Yuga will begin again.
So we can expect much more wars stuff in this world.
Yes.
How we can protect our consciousness?
By chanting.
Our actions.
By chanting. This is all we can do. We can vibrate transcendental sounds. This is what we can do. This will protect us. This will make us immune to the effects of Kali Yuga.
It's 32 minutes already. What kind of message you can share to the world, to Bulgarians and to everybody who watching that video?
That human life is very rarely achieved because, as I said earlier, there are 8,400,000 different species. Humans are in the smallest group, smallest number. So it's a rare, we've got a human body, it's a rare opportunity. And if you use it wisely, you can get out of the cycle of repeated birth and death. And now that we have, as I said, we have this human body, the Vedanta Sutra, that is one of the books, Vedas, part of the Veda. The Vedanta Sutra says, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Means, Atato means now is the time to inquire about spirit. What time is that? Now is the time? Human time. Now as a human you can inquire. Animals cannot inquire. Birds cannot, beasts cannot inquire. But a human can inquire, who am I? The lower species, they don't inquire. They are completely under the control of material nature. We can inquire and we can become educated and we can choose how we are going to live, how we are going to relate to the material world. Humans have that ability. But if you don't use that, then you run the risk of taking birth again. And again and again and again and again. So our message to people is, you have this human form, utilize it for self-realization. Know yourself, know who you are, what you are. Right now, most people don't know who they are, what they are. even though they're going to school, so many universities, but they're like one poet, one American poet, he said, we are educated fools from uneducated schools. Because they don't teach you this. They don't teach you who you are. After going to school for so many years, you come out and you still don't know who you are or what you are. You think, I'm this body. So therefore, educated fools from uneducated schools.
Can you share one of your favorite scriptures from Bhagavad Gita or something in Sanskrit?
Yes. Well, in Bhagavad Gita, one verse, Krishna says, Mamai vamso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. He says, all living entities, they are my, Krishna is making this statement, they are my parts and parcels. They are eternal, just like I am eternal. But right now, in ignorance, they are struggling to survive, right? But who will survive? Who is fit to survive? Unless you become self-realized, you will not survive. See? So we say, don't waste your valuable human life. Use it wisely, because that's what it's meant for. Human life has a purpose. It's not without a purpose. And every human being, can be educated to understand what is the purpose of life. Who am I? Why am if I'm eternal, why am I forced to die? I want to live, but yet I'm forced to die. These questions we need to ask. We want to live, but we are forced to die. But we really don't die, only the body dies. But if you're identifying with the body, then that's a miserable experience. But if you understand who you are, then that is just another change of body.
Thank you very much for your time and everything you share with us. I believe that the public who is going to watch that video will have more questions.
Yes.
For,
well, we have answers. We have many books. Prabhupada has given us many books, they're from the Vedas. This is not ordinary knowledge. As I said, you can't get this knowledge in any university. So this is the king of knowledge. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Raja Vidya, Raja means king. He said, this knowledge is the king, is the highest knowledge. So knowledge should be distributed.